Okay, hello, all my beautiful leading ladies. I'm Antoinette Westcott here with my co-host Renee L. Page.
Hello, everyone. Happy leading ladies and happy Women History.
Oh yes, it's Women's History Month.
Yes.
And this week we have Paige Parsons Roach joining us.
Parsons Roach. I love it.
Paige is an environmentalist and a vegan activist. When her daughter went vegan at age 13 after showing her the movie Cowspiracy, she was never the same again. The movie inspired her to devote her life to promoting a vegan lifestyle and how to help save the environment. She currently works for UnChainedTV and is co-host and co-producer of Plant-Based in the Burbs. Let's welcome our leading lady, Paige Parsons Roach.
Paige.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi. Hello.
So awesome to be with some other leading ladies and some
Yes.
boss babes for sure.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Well, you've been hitting it hard for years.
Yes.
And you guys have something in common with the publicist and public relations stuff, marketing manager, event coordinating, all of that.
It's been a
Renee
while.
used to do
Music.
musicians.
Well, music management with rappers and things like that. So that was interesting.
I imagine that was very never a dull moment, right?
Oh, never. I was like
busy constantly. Yes.
Yes.
I did some celebrity PR as well, and that always presented some surprises.
Oh, yes.
What's one of the craziest things that you can tell us?
Wow.
Surprises.
I'd have to think back. I just remember doing some escorting, not
That
kind of escorting, but literally.
I didn't get that deep.
Now we're getting some sauciness. Yeah, back in the 20s. But we would literally make sure that they made it to the MTV Awards. So I had three of my friends with me. We were having a lot of fun, and I was with Jodie Foster and Courtney Cox one time, and I just remember. Awesome. I know. Okay, this was a little. Okay,
juicy.
This is getting juicy. One of my first events that I did was an Earth Day event at Hollywood Bowl, and Paul McCartney was the headliner, right? And he said no meat on the premises whatsoever. And I'm going to call his name out, PM Don, who was, kind of a big deal.
Yep, love them.
Yeah, but great music and everything. He brought some ribs, and you would have thought that everything just it did shut down till they had to remove the ribs, get them out of here. This is not okay. This is a full no meat, no meat.
Oh, wow.
No meat.
I've been on the way eating out the door.
Get into their trailers or whatever, but he was like, no. And I remember that was a bit of drama. So that was probably my first.
I can imagine.
But that was back in the 90s.
That was in the 90s.
PM Dawn, that's when they were big.
Yep. Back in the 90s. I gotta say, back in the 90s in my
And
20s.
Paul McCartney's been vegan since then.
Well, he's been vegetarian. I'm not sure if he's fully vegan now. I know his daughter, Stella McCartney, is rocking the fashion world as a vegan fashion. So, but we love Paul McCartney. He does a lot of really cool things.
Love him.
Recently signed the Plant-Based Treaty, which is a new thing that I also help support, along with many different people. But he was one of them that kind of made a big, and Moby and Joaquin Phoenix. But having Paul McCartney kind of takes you into a whole nother level when it comes to people who aren't vegan, and that's definitely to read the pre-vegan.
It froze for me.
Can
you say that again? It froze for me.
Yeah, it froze for me too.
I was saying that I think, what's so great about having Paul McCartney on board with the Plant-Based Treaty or anything that folks who are vegan, any kind of message from him brings it into a whole nother level with people who are pre-vegans, which is, definitely a goal of mine, is to, just let people know. That's one of the things that we do with our show, is to let other women know that you're in the kitchen. Don't worry. We got you. We can show you how to swap out and get more plants on your plate. So having Paul McCartney put a check mark next to an endorsing plant-based treaty shows people that if, you know, even if you're somebody who's maybe a flexitarian or reductitarian, or you are going all in, that someone like Paul McCartney, you know, who everyone pretty much knows, household name, is supporting this transition to a plant-based world so that we can, you know, hopefully heal our planet. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm waiting for the wine to have the little stamp, the vegan certified or approved or whichever one we have now, because I'm constantly on Barnivore. Is that what it's called? Like looking it up, like, oh, is this one vegan? Is this one vegan?
Yeah, definitely. Well, there's a couple companies. I'll definitely set you up. I can't think right now about.
Well, I want it on the bottle. I want to just be lazy like the food is, you know?
Exactly. Get it on there. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm starting to swap stuff out. I mean, slowly but surely, but I mean, you all.
Yeah, I'm introducing Renee to stuff slowly.
Awesome. Yeah.
That cheese we had the other day on the crackers, that was vegan, Paige.
Yes.
I gave her some Miyoko's.
Oh, Miyoko's is premier.
It was because I kept eating it. I was like, oh my goodness. And then the crackers. And then she made me some spaghetti. So that was like, oh my goodness. So, because my father's family is Italian. So, you know, the spaghetti, and I'm thinking I can make some spaghetti, but that spaghetti was just delicious. I was like, any more?
So glad you brought this up, Renee, because honestly, if you just take out the quote unquote meat, most things, it's all about the sauce and the spices. So if you can figure out how to get that texture, like a mushroom, that people like dial up and make it taste like a chicken texture, like it's flavor and texture, spices and sauces, you know, it's all about the sauces and spices, really. Most people don't want to continue once they look into it a little bit more, what's going on, you know, I mean, if people really get it, they're like, they just want to eat good food. And
exactly.
Because remember we had that business meeting, Antoinette, and we went somewhere and I had to have my little wings. And then you got, I think, cauliflower wings or something.
Oh, the buffalo cauliflower. Yeah.
The buffalo. And I was looking at yours and I was like, oh my goodness, those look good.
Yep.
So you're right. You can start mindset and just switching things out because they look really, really good. What was it called? What was it, Antoinette?
The buffalo cauliflower.
Yeah. They look really good.
Yeah, a lot of places are getting that. Like that seems to be a staple at most regular places.
Yeah, no, I mean, you know what? It's interesting because that's one of those things you can get on the menu that at a place that has all kinds of, you know, traditional foods. Restaurants are starting to dial in that there is a vegan movement and people want to get more plants on their plate. So they're figuring out how to cook up things like mushrooms, like the cauliflower. I mean, I had the other day a cauliflower steak at a restaurant.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. And, you know, I mean, even somebody like Gordon Ramsay has done, I believe, cauliflower steak and eggplant steak. Okay, Gordon Ramsay, who is not, you know, he'll literally say like, I'm going vegan for this dish, you know? So top chefs are learning how to make things, dial it in, that deliciousness, that 5-star flavor, texture, and spices again for folks who are wanting more plants on their plate. So I think that's, you know, really great for everyone, because when you look at, you know, all the elements to why you would want to get more plants on your plate, you know, I mean, one reason is fiber. Let's just deal with fiber.
Yes.
Animals.
Well, I have like a hypersensitive taste bud. So my mom I grew up eating meat and potatoes and mac and cheese because my dad grew up that way. And so it's like every generation. And so and potatoes were bland, rice was bland, like, and now like learning more stuff, you know, like Spanish rice, yellow rice, like you can season stuff. And I don't know if I'm not calling my mom's food bland, but maybe a little.
Sounds like it.
I like flavor, and that's the one thing, exactly what Paige said, that I say to everybody. I'm like, it's just flavor. Like you want to taste the food. So, and you can do that with any of the spices, like any of the stuff that you like to eat.
It's just a mindset and just maybe just trying something new. trying something new every day. Like I said, that macaroni, I mean, not the macaroni, the spaghetti and meatball. If you hadn't told me, I wouldn't have known.
Yeah.
And then I felt
think
lighter.
They were Gardein.
Gardein,
or
yes.
Beyond. Did Beyond make them little?
Yes.
But I didn't feel heavy, but yet full.
Yeah.
So it was, and I saw a big difference. So, and that's another thing that we want to start promoting with health, because everyone's into exercising, eating healthier. Vegan diet is good because, like you said, adding more plants based to your plate.
Yeah.
You should have more green on your plate than brown. So, and I think every nutritionist would support that.
Well, and I was saying the fiber, we as human beings on the planet, since we started eating meat, dairy, eggs, and fish, is that the only cholesterol is in the animal product, by the way. It's not in any plant food, right? Like, nuts, grains, seeds, seeds, legumes. And so we have a over cholesterol and a fat, sick, and nearly dead society around the world. And I mean, honestly, if you look at people's cholesterol levels, it's really high. And then the other thing is we're lacking in fiber, which is in the plants, in the fruits.
Yes.
So I didn't know that. I just learned that recently. So hey, look, I'm a regular mom. I have 2 kids in their 20s. When my daughter was 13, she came to me. I was doing fine. I was exercising.
Oh, yeah. So your daughter went vegan before you.
Yes, she did.
Right.
I was fine. Like, I was going out for sushi and I was eating pepperoni on my pizza. Like, just, life was pretty good over here. Like, I didn't care about the dairy. I didn't even need to know about that. And then I sat down and watched Cowspiracy. And being an environmentalist, I mean, look, I carry my plastic alternative to a straw everywhere I go. I happen to be home right now, but you can see there's a metal straw here, but I bring my bamboo. I bring it. I'm that girl. And I'm the one that was going around the nation and showing people, restaurants, and saying, swap out your plastic straw because we're in a serious crisis with plastic in our planet, right? It's ruining our oceans. And I was thinking selfishly, like, this plastic's getting into my fish that I want to eat. So I was not, this was not like some people take on a personal journey like I have over the years, where I sit in a seminar or a workshop for weekends and whatnot. I've been on a personal journey since my 20s, and I sought it out. This is one I didn't seek. I did not seek to go down this journey. I've got to be honest. And so it hit me like a brick. I'm like, what is my daughter doing? She's going vegan. What, for the animals? Like, I don't get it. But
well, you grew up on a farm. So how was that transition? Like figuring out that brain swap?
Exactly. Well, 1 year on a farm when I was 8 years old, a very formative year, and we all had our own pet animals. And the pet pig of my brother's would come to the bus stop and wait for him. He called her Tricky.
A pet pig?
This is how smart. This is how smart animals are. They're so smart. I mean, think about your dog, think about your cat, right? Maybe you've trained a bird to speak. I mean, think about the animals that have been trained to do things.
Yeah.
Pigs, cows, chickens, turkeys, you name it, are no different. We just don't speak their language, let's say. Okay. But if you see, pigs have been studied and have been known to be smarter than some 5-year-old children and some adults.
Oh, wow.
I will tell you, because they can do things. They can put puzzles together. It's extraordinary. But anyway, back to my story about my brother. So this pig, Tricky, only hung out with him. It was his best friend. He was 3 years older than me is. And she would meet us at the bus stop. One day she wasn't there. And we teased him about bacon and ham. And he's, to this day, does not eat bacon or ham. Well, she did go off to slaughter. We needed to eat.
Oh,
so
my
goodness. A lot of respect for people who feel the need that's what they need to do, right? And at this point, what I've learned, I know I'm kind of skipping forward, and I think the same thing happened with my chickens, because one day they were gone, and Polka and Dot, as well as the cows that were my brother's, for real. And listen, we needed sustenance at the time. My grandparents were taking care of my brothers and I, while my mom was getting things together as a single mom. And we flew back into Los Angeles. I'd never been here. didn't know what it was, didn't know what Beverly Hills was. We were the Beverly Hillbilly kids. We
Oh
arrived.
my gosh, stop.
I had yarn in my hair and my braids, and I had overalls on, and flew into Beverly Hills and became a gymnast, and did gymnastics.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, and lived across the street from Joan Rivers, if you know who that is, and hung out with.
Definitely.
No, never heard of her.
Oh, yeah. Hung out with her
The
daughter.
bee, the bee,
The bee.
the bee.
Melissa Rivers and I had scheduled play dates. I mean, it was like that. And
That's so cool.
But,
that's the world. You went from one world to a completely opposite.
Wow. Transitional change, I bet.
Major.
What was going through your mind? Like, because most people that happens to, when it happens internationally, they don't know the language, they don't know the culture here. And at least speaking the same language probably helped you.
Right.
Definitely speaking the same language, but it obviously was a very different world. I was used to being in a cul-de-sac. Now I was behind a gate. I wasn't used to being around celebrities. The next thing you know, my former stepfather was a celebrity plastic surgeon. So, I think what was going through my mind was I just wanted to hang out with my mom, because I had been a year without her. When you think about, being 9, that age, and many things happened that were out of my control. Getting vulnerable. I was taken advantage of by a grown man. Just lay it out there. That was
Wow.
Yeah, you recently just posted
I
about
did.
that.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you wanted to bring
we
that
don't
up.
get into the details, but you know what? We got to watch out for our children,
Our children.
the people around them, because we think we trust someone who was living with us, and So, but I went on to and then this ice cream man is very scary too. Nothing happened, but it could have, with 3 of my friends, and
With the ice cream man.
Yeah. Mr. Hoover?
With the truck making the noise, the good humor coming up to the
The
block.
good humor, Mr. Hoover man? Really? That's
Oh
the
my
one that you look
gosh.
forward to. You would run down.
This should be one of those horror movies. This should really be in a movie, because we were seduced in by candy, and then one day he came drunk, and he was on the corner of our elementary school, and we would go in because we thought, free candy, what the hell? So next thing you know, he comes drunk, and he asks us for directions. It's his quote unquote last day. He shows up at my gated to get in, ding, 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 at like 8:30 at night, ding, 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 ding. And luckily we wrote our phone numbers down. That's not lucky, but he called me from the gate, and then he called our other friend. Her dad was on the other line. That was what it was in those days. You had one phone line,
3-way,
maybe 2 phones, right?
Right.
So dad's phone, who's calling at 9:30 at night? The girl picks up the phone, Bonnie, and it comes out this drunk man is on the phone trying to get into our houses, trying to get with us, and it was just strange. And now you think people know, but you just don't know, and you don't know what you don't know. So just stay on alert for our children. We need to protect them. And so, wow, I didn't realize we were going to go down this path, but hey.
well, you needed to talk about it.
Yes.
Who I am, and it makes me proud that what I was saying in my post recently is my daughter's going on 21, and when she was in my belly, we went to hospital. We went to a new hospital than where my son was born. And I just wasn't feeling it. It felt like something was missing. I said, can I be with my baby in the room? Like, no, we're going to take her away. We're going to clean her up. We got to make tests happen. And I'm like, this is 21 years ago. Things are very different now. And I get that, they have their policies, but I had heard about and had a conversation with a friend who had a home birth, and I had looked into it. And I thought, maybe we could do this. And my doula, who I was working with, said, you can do this if you want, here's all you got to do. And I called my friend who had a baby 6 months earlier at home. And I said, what do I need? Can I go to CVS and get the stuff? I was just thinking logically for a moment. We go into hospitals. And again, I'm not saying those of you that I had a hospital birth first time, I felt like something was needed to be different for me. And sure enough, I was being guided to have a home birth, a safe home birth, to get my.
How did you introduce that thought? Like, it just came to you?
No, I
Right.
think having conversations with my girlfriend, having had her baby at home, like I heard about it and I asked her and I was curious. And the book that I was reading that my doula was introducing me to was how to have power in giving birth. Because a lot of times we give our power away to the professionals, which is what I did the first birth, and those around me who I thought knew better than me. I knew I wanted to not have any drugs and medication. I kept turning to the nurses saying, hey, how much longer? I was so close. And they're like, just get the epidural, just get it. So not only did I get an epidural, but to get the baby out because, well, it was Memorial Day weekend and my doctor was wanting to get back to her barbecue. She gave me a slice, which apparently they don't do as much anymore, the episiotomy. And I wouldn't have had any of that if I'd known more. Now, that's why I say to people, get yourself educated. I'm not blaming. I just got more educated and realized that's not what I wanted. I did not want to repeat what happened before. It was very painful afterwards and during, and the epidural had effects afterwards for me. And, I don't know. Anyway, so.
Has there happened to a lot of people having side effects to epidural?
Well, this is 22 years later, almost 23 years later. I think a lot of
they've done better.
Again,
now.
I have high respect and there's no judgment for anyone who chooses what they choose. For me, it felt disempowering. I felt very sad afterwards. I felt that I had entrusted systems that have been in place for so long in a hospital setting that I wanted to take my power back as much as I possibly could, second birth. So that's what I chose to do. And again, I have high respect. Birthing is so personal. And for me, the other thing I thought was, I started thinking about the ancient times of people, or even currently people are dropping babies in fields, they're intense with their tribes. And it started to kind of connect with me more on the tribal sense of who am I as a mom giving birth to this child coming through me out into the world. And then I got a serious spiritual download, home birth, go for it. And I just knew I needed to look into it. So I started looking and everything lined up. The midwife was 15 minutes away or 10. The hospital that we was 10 minutes away. So if there was an emergency, we got all the fear out of the way.
Everything just fell right into place.
Right into place. And my husband,
were you worried about anything?
Well, listen, when my husband and I came home after meeting with the midwife, we sat on the couch, we held hands and we literally prayed. What I saw was an airplane behind with a big thing that said home birth in capital letters, like leading this, sign. My husband got the message it was going to be a safe birth. Then I called my mom. She was the only person I told ahead of time. Because by the way, I will tell you this. You
didn't tell anybody.
No, listen, exactly. We made the decision on a Saturday afternoon. Sunday, we went to a party with some friends with their kids. And I mentioned it to one friend and her mother was a midwife. So she was the perfect person to mention it to, because she said, wow, that's amazing. Go for it. She was so amazing. And then I went and I told my mom, and she went on a walk with her friend and they also saw safe birth. She was praying for us, wow. Really connecting. And sure enough, no kidding, a week early, Caitlin came. The very next, I went into labor at 2:15. That after all that happened on that Sunday, she was a week early. And it was 2 hours later, I was moaning, which I highly recommend. I was rocking, doing all this natural stuff that felt natural to me to do. And Donnie caught her and I was on all fours. And it was amazing.
Stop. Oh my
gosh.
Wow.
That's beautiful.
Now, could I have told you that was how I was going to go? No. Did I predict this? No. Kind of like how I fell into veganism, just finding out, trusting my instincts, getting my power back, taking my power back on my body. Yes, I have control of what I'm going to be putting into my body every step of the way, rather than these chemicals that are being put into the animals or, just so much there. Yeah. So
you would recommend for someone listening that wants to do a home birth rather than the typical way, traditional.
Traditional.
If it empowers you, call me. We can talk about it. I can pull up the books I read. I can share with you.
Well, and by empowering, what would that entail? How? Because our show is about empowering other women. So those people that want to hear, what advice do you have?
What advice?
My advice, so I did some hypno birthing, which is available. I just had, my friend had done it with her daughter, and I just put on a tape at night back in the day with the cassette tapes. And I know now you can get so much on Calm.
Yes.
So you can look up hypno birthing, and it essentially just helped me to breathe into my pregnancy and breathe and kind of be one with my daughter. I think finding someone who can support you on your team as you're giving birth is really important. I think doulas are extraordinary. They do incredible work.
What's a doula?
Yeah, what's a doula?
I know the name, but never really looked into it.
The midwife is an actual nurse practitioner, who is your midwife. So if you're giving birth at home, it's recommended you have a midwife who has all the skills for if you have an emergency situation, or like for me, I needed to be sewn up and, things like that. But the doula, which you could have if you're having a birth in a hospital as well, is your support person. As much as your partner who's not giving birth wants to support you, my husband literally did not want me to be screaming. He wanted me to be calm because he cares about me, and it made him nervous, A second time around, he was like, the moaning was easier. But when I was in the hospital, I was scared, and he heard that. So he just wanted to support me however was going to have me be calm, because he loves me so much, right? So whoever your partner is, as much as they're doing the right thing, he was. Having somebody in there, we didn't have a doula first time. I think they help you with your created birth plan. The actual.
So should everybody have a doula? Like, this sounds like this is like a must kind of thing that everybody should have giving birth.
It would be nice
because it's so hard and you go through so much. Not that I know, but experienced myself, but other women. Renee, you have 2 kids.
Yeah, that was just years ago in the 90s.
Well, and anyone who's up to having excellence in their life, we all know it. You get coaching. So we get coaching on things in our life. If you want to get your body into excellent shape.
It's like a personal trainer for pregnancy.
Yes, exactly. It's a personal trainer for pregnancy. It's a personal trainer to support your goals of what you're committed to for your birth.
So how much would that cost? How much could someone make doing that?
Was it covered through insurance or private pay?
Lots has changed. I haven't had a baby in 21 years. So I don't know, but they're all over the world. Doulas are there's a whole association. I even thought about being a doula, but I took a different turn. Which is this turn. So I would highly recommend. I am all about a doula for sure. Because like I said, they know births. They're experts in births, and they're there to support you in your birth plan. And if you decide that you want to have an epidural, having that person there to support you with it all that's amazing to have someone as your support person. So,
oh my goodness. I need to tell my best friend, Jen, she loves babies. She loves kids. She was going to school to be a nurse, to be around them. And, life gets away from you. So, and she wants her kids to have babies. Like, she just had her 2nd grandchild and she just can't get enough of it. So I'm trying to find things for her that maybe she should do. And Jen, when you watch this, doula, look it up.
A doula.
Yep. Yeah. So I think one of the things I want to say is when I went vegan, just to circle back to that empowerment, I felt like I was taking my power back with my food choices. And I know what's in the food, whereas you don't know when you are getting something that's a dairy cheese from a goat, from a cow, from a sheep. They have the most antibiotics that are used on this planet are for animals. Yep. So we're getting some of that. Plus, also, these animals don't want to give us their milk. Their moms too. They want to give it to their babies, but we don't let them have it to the babies. We take it for ourselves selfishly. And we also just work those mothers year and year and year and year. So that was shocking for me to learn, having nursed both my kids well past a year, my daughter 2.5. By the way, let me just say, I highly recommend that. Not everyone is able. So I will say that for the nursing, the breastfeeding. So I have a lot of compassion for those that are unable for whatever reason, but I will say she is valedictorian, was one of her valedictorians of high school. She homeschooled for 10 years, both my kids. And also she is on Dean's list. So if you're wondering if being vegan is going to make you dumb, or if breastfeeding doesn't support brain health, I got to say, I got two really healthy kids who are thriving having had that experience. And so
yes,
I don't know. Yeah, it's worked for us and our family. Yeah,
it is recommended.
Yep.
Well, what, do they talk about it a lot at the hospital, Renee?
I mean, well, that's not my expertise. So I'm
just like people talking, like with the doctors and
the doctor from
that would know nutrition.
Yes, certain type of milk and breastfeeding is recommended. So, but that's not my expertise. But going through it with my daughter and my son with their children, it was recommended breastfeeding if you could. So I know my daughter, because my daughter's like a helicopter mom, you know, she's all over Jacob, and so is Corey. So it was like, whatever is healthy for the baby, and whatever the doctor said, the pediatrician said, you know, breast milk is better. And then when you transition, certain type of milk. So I know it was one brand, because I know for a while, little Corey's mother couldn't breastfeed for a while. So it was a type of milk that they recommended. It has like a red label on it, but it was recommended. So breastfeeding and things like that. Yes, for brain health. And both of my grandkids are smart.
Oh my goodness. So we didn't do this yet, but I'd like to jump into our rapid fire questions.
Yes.
If we can do that for a second, we can get back to all of everything and more. Okay. What's your favorite thing that you purchased in 2021 under $100?
Oh, okay. I'm such a geek. I've sponsored a turkey to stay alive at a farm sanctuary, and put the beautiful picture they sent me. I put it in a frame and had it as our centerpiece on the table for Thanksgiving with all of our plant-based dishes. That was pretty cool.
Oh, $45 for that.
Okay.
And where did you get that? What's it?
That was from the farm sanctuary, and you can order it online. And then it goes to helping feed the turkey and keep the turkey alive and the other animals on the sanctuary.
Interesting.
Oh, how cool.
It is cool.
Yeah, I've learned everything. Like there's so much, like I play, I'm vegan. I don't know. And like, there's so much that everybody does to help the movement. And I learned so much from Paige all the time and Prabhath, like, just like, this is going on. Like last night, I don't know if you went to Plant Power's launch, grand opening.
Hollywood. Woohoo! Yeah, Plant Power is basically a fast food, like a vegan McDonald's.
Yeah.
You can literally get cheeseburger, double cheeseburger. They've got sauce. And the whole thing is plant-based, 100%.
What is it called? Plant Power?
Plant Power, yeah. And they have them up and down the coast here in California, but I think they've branched out to other states as well. So it's pretty cool. Plant Power. Tasty.
Yeah. Like fast food chain across the country is trying to
so you can get a cheeseburger.
Yeah, cheeseburger. And last time I saw Antoinette, we were in Santa Monica for an opening of an Ethiopian restaurant, 100% vegan, delicious, so scrumptious, right there in the heart of Santa Monica. It's like popular. You would walking to everything.
Well, LA is like the best place to be vegan, I gotta say.
Okay. Yeah,
because there's like everything everywhere, and it's just so convenient.
I will say, I book guests, chefs for our cooking show, which is called Lunch Break Live, and we do it virtually now. So people from all over the world are coming on and cooking, right? And
that's what. So when I do the show, I want Renee to come on and cook with me, and then I can teach her another meal.
Yes, let's do it.
Yes.
Slowly introducing her to I'm working on you, Renee. I'm working on you.
Well, work in progress.
It's amazing. What I'm saying is that there are people that I meet that are like, it's blowing up here in Michigan. Yesterday, Mr. Minnesota was talking about what's happening in Minnesota, like all over the world. Vegan and plant-based is just popping. It is on fire.
Yeah.
So, UnChainedTV, where you can get recipes.
It's not.
More. Let me
It's
see. How
blurry.
do I dial that in? Yeah.
Just right in front of your face.
UnChainedTV. And then
Okay.
plant-based news has just great information people can tap in around the world. Veg news. There's lots of great things. Veg Out magazine, which is also global. Yeah. Okay. Next question. I like
Okay. Let's do it.
Oh.
What's your favorite book?
Okay. Well, I'm such a geek. Charity Morgan's recent cookbook. So the story behind Charity Morgan is her husband went vegan. He played on the Tennessee Titans, and she would cook up all this vegan food. She's cordon bleu trained, traditional. And then he would bring his food, and the players were like, that looks really good. So she ended up having I think it was 25 of the team players that wanted the meals, and they were on the meal plan. And so then she just launched her cookbook. So that is truly one of my favorite books right now.
Okay.
Chef Charity Morgan. Yeah.
Okay. A cookbook. That's our first cookbook.
Yes. First cookbook. Yes. Charity Morgan.
That's pretty cool. We got to add that. Well, we do a book club, so we're getting all of our guests to kind of refer.
Books.
Yes. The photos are just dripping. You just get hungry looking at the photos, and everything's very simply laid out.
Oh, well, that's what we'll cook on a lunch break live, Renee, one of the recipes in the book.
Okay.
I love it.
Yes. I want to taste the cheeseburgers.
Yes.
We'll have to do that.
Yes.
Okay. Paige, what's the first thing you do every morning?
I say my gratitudes. I take a moment, just take a deep breath, and I just thank God for being alive. I say I'm grateful. I look outside, take some breaths, and then my husband and I meditate, and then I check my phone. Yep,
And my favorite question. I love this because you're busy just like we are. What keeps you from hitting the snooze button?
Okay. Commitment.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, the commitment to whatever is coming up, that I know I've committed to it. And so I know I need to show up. So if that means, getting up, getting out of bed, doing my routine, and moving forward, that the commitment's bigger than my feelings in the moment, which is the snooze button.
I'm a loser, so.
But I don't, trust me, I do hit it sometimes. But
thank you, Paige.
I'm not perfect over here by any means.
Because I hit the snooze button all the time. So look, I don't feel bad. But anyway, okay. So moving forward, if you could give your past self one key piece of advice, what would that be?
Relax.
Okay.
Don't take it all too seriously. Be more in the flow.
How do you relax?
Yeah.
Meditating. I never used to meditate. I would just go until I ran out my tank, and I didn't connect. I didn't connect spiritually. I didn't connect with myself and my breathing. So I would tell the old self, calm down, chill, relax, meditate, whatever that looks like. That's the other thing. I used to think meditation had to look like I was sitting on top of a hill. It was all quiet. No, guess what? I have been meditating since my kids were young. In the car with them screaming, I'll be meditating.
How in the world do you do that? I thought you have to have peace and quiet.
Okay, Antoinette, I am smashing that belief on your part, because
do it.
It's a matter of a mindset.
Yeah.
So crazy can be going on around you, but who are you being in the moment of it? So that's what I've definitely dialed in. Not perfect, but that's what gets me through the crazy or the, just the swirls, is to stop and be present. Because when you're not present, when I'm not present, I'm in the fear. I'm in the drama. I was major drama for many years. And I got off that drama track. It did not serve me well. It served me in the moment, but that was a lot of focus on me and the drama. And I've switched that to making an impact and being there for my kids and my husband and my family and my friends way more. No perfection. It's a journey, but slowing down, stopping and being present and tuning into my inner self. So, yeah.
That's the thing.
I hear you, but I'm not hearing you.
I hear her. I mean, because that's the thing with me. I am so busy. Like, I could be at a meeting, I could be doing something, and I'm on my cell phone, I'm texting, sending an email, answering a text, doing this. And then I realized that when I stopped and I said, you know what? I am present in the moment. And if it's 30 minutes that whatever I'm doing, like Antoinette, you and I are working on stuff, I put my cell phone away, I sit on it, I do it, and I'm present. And you and I are diving into what we have to do, and I'm more productive versus me checking an email, doing this. I'm present in the moment. And then whatever else I have going on, I can get to it an hour later or 30 minutes later. So I feel such empowered, and that I have more control of my day and my time, and that I'm not in crazy, if that makes sense.
Yes. Okay. This is one of the biggest things I ever learned. This is when people used to leave voice messages, right? These long ass voice messages. Now we text each other, we send shorter messages, but long. And then they'd be like, call me back right now. I need to talk to you, or whatever it was.
Don't forget to take out the trash and turn the lights off. And
yeah. And so one thing to realize is that's everybody else's immediacy, emergency. Yeah. That's them saying, you need to get back to me because they want to feel more at peace. That's truth. But in the moment of that, I can sit back and say, does it work for me to call this person right back? I was just about to take a bath or a shower or go for a walk or have a conversation with my husband, or I was doing something else, but this person's immediacy is not mine. And yet
so you look to tune into yourself.
I look to tune into myself now. And this does not happen overnight. This is practice. This is practice and making mistakes and falling off of that jungle gym and getting back on and getting back in the game of that you matter first. It's not selfish. It's being selfless. It's taking care of self first. So like they say that put the mask on first, literally the gas, the air, the oxygen from the plane, put that on so that you can then be present for others. If you don't have that on first, then you're constantly at the beck and call of everyone else's to-do list and their emergencies and their drama. So it does, and it rubs off on you. And then at the end of the day, I started to feel like a
anxious.
martyr mom. Everybody else's agenda came before mine, and where's dinner? And I have to go to this practice and this and this. So trust me, this is a journey. I'm an empty nester for the first time. And
I went through that too because of that. I went through that. I went through the empty nest syndrome because I did everything for my children. Like with Bria, Corey, I was at every football game, cheerleading practice, doing everything on Saturday, going to work. I was just doing everything. And I remember when Bria graduated and I was in this big house by myself, and I'm like, oh my God, it's nothing but me. And I had nothing but time. And I was like, oh my God. And I was depressed because I wasn't, and I had all this time, and it was like, Bria, you
didn't know what to do with yourself.
I didn't know what to do with myself. And I was just like, oh my goodness. And I went through, like you said, the empty nest syndrome, and it was a depression. And I didn't realize that until I started having purpose for my life, because everything was about my children. I was a single mom. So my life was about my children. So when they were gone and they did not need me, I was like, oh my God, I felt irrelevant. I felt like I wasn't needed. Yeah. So I went through that depression.
But they were finding themselves to find out when they needed you.
Right. And then I wasn't allowing them to make mistakes. I was like, okay, Bria, I'm there. And I had to step back and say, you know what? She's going to be fine. Corey's going to be fine. So I had to live my life for Renee. And now, I can't get in touch with you. And I never forget, maybe a couple of weeks ago, this is no joke. A couple of weeks ago, because I work at night, I came home. Because when I take a shower, I drink wine, and I went to sleep, and I was out. Next thing I know, boom, 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 boom. You know how you're sleeping and then you're scared? Like, what the hell? It was the concierge from downstairs because my daughter, because she couldn't get in touch with me, she called the concierge downstairs to come make sure I was okay. Because,
oh my goodness.
And she was like, you didn't answer your phone. I was like,
this is the transition when the child becomes a parent. Yeah.
Like, I'm fine. I'm sleepy. Leave me alone. So she switched it. But like I said, I went through the empty nest syndrome with my kids, and now I have my life back. And like you said, Paige, it's just being present in the moment. Even at work, like when I go to work, I work night shift, and I have to take 15 minutes. I stop and I make sure everyone is safe, and I go and I sit down and I eat. I eat dinner. I take 15 minutes. I don't answer phones. I don't do anything. And I enjoy my food. When I come back, then I can deal with this patient, that patient, whatever. I can deal with the drama because I come back refreshed. So I just want to add that too.
I remember when the kids were younger, and I'm sure you had this too. I heard somebody say along the way, fill up your children's tank, then they'll go play. So you fill it up by sitting down on the floor and playing Legos or dolls or whatever it is. It's the same concept for us. It's fill our own tank so that we're not constantly on empty trying to catch up and everybody's bombarding us. So by the end of the day, we're like resentful, frustrated, or at the end of the journey of raising your children, and then they're now gone, you're not frustrated, upset, lost, lonely. But also the other thing is when you get to the journey like you, Renee, you learn through your journey. I mean, look at you. You didn't stay there long. You got yourself out of this and pulled yourself up by your bootstraps and got yourself,
I made mistakes.
Yeah. Into the next journey. So Antoinette, I was just thinking though, in the moment, putting yourself first, knowing that you matter. It may be you don't call that person back for 24 hours. Nope. You send them a text instead. And you said, I'll be back with you tomorrow. I'm in a meeting. I'm in a meeting a lot, but that meeting may be that I'm meditating or I'm in the bath. That's a meeting. I'm having a meeting right now.
With yourself.
With me.
With myself, because I matter.
So. I got my wine. I'm meeting with my wine glass.
Exactly.
Okay. Back to the questions.
Great.
What's your favorite podcast?
Okay. Well, I really love this one.
No pressure.
This wasn't no pressure. I didn't do anything.
Here's the good news. This is really empowering. I'm really happy that you all are doing this and you're crossing the board. You're bringing so many powerful voices forward. And I think that's essential. Now, I will say before you all, I will say Food Heals podcast really rocked my world prior to becoming vegan even. And it is so empowering. Allison Melody, she started it with someone else. And then I guess she got a mention on Rich Roll's podcast, which is also a fabulous podcast as well about movers and shakers and so forth. And Food Heals, amazing, because it's like Sex and the City girl talk, but she leads it just really empowering. And she's all about also empowering people and bringing voices to people that, wouldn't necessarily otherwise be heard and hear their stories. So I love story podcasts. I really do.
Right.
Real situations. So yeah.
Okay. Awesome. I don't listen to very many, but I like our listeners to get referrals. So I think that's great. Thank you for sharing. Absolutely. Okay. So if you could have coffee with one person, who would it be?
I'm going to say Oprah. I've always been a huge Oprah fan. I just, hands down, I'd love to sit with her and acknowledge her and let her know I grew up with her, you know, learning from her as someone who was a communications major and had aspirations for doing things on camera. You know, I just have a lot of respect for her.
What's, if you could switch careers tomorrow and try anything that you haven't already done, what would it be?
That's a good one. Careers, huh? Oh, that's such a good one.
Well, because you've done
everything.
I haven't done everything, like fly an airplane. Not.
Oh,
would not be a pilot.
No. That's a good one. Wow. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. So this is good. All right.
We stumped Paige.
Yes, stunned silence.
Wait. Being on a beautiful island somewhere and having like the most amazing vegan resort and having like a full team of people and sort of overseeing it. And it's like super sexy and delicious food and fruits and buffets and pools and jacuzzis and waterfalls. And we're hiking and we're
music.
Oh, you froze. Say it again.
Yeah.
Wait, come back. Wait, I gotta hear the rest of this fantasy.
Are you there? Are you there?
Oh, shoot. There you are.
Okay.
You're here.
I was on an island with the most amazing buffet of vegan food, having a resort where people drop in and we go to waterfalls and we hike and we do natural and we do yoga and we're like just enjoying
sexy
life at a resort, sexy vegan resort. And I would be running the place. There you go.
Okay.
White Lotus.
White Lotus.
I could drop in right now into this career. Let me tell you.
Invite us. I'll be there.
Okay.
You're there.
We just need a few investors.
Yes. Let's do it.
Yes.
That sounds amazing. I would go. Where? Hawaii or where?
Oh, I love Hawaii.
I'm not sure. Somewhere tropical.
Fiji. Oh my God.
Fiji. Okay. I've never been there. So sure. Fiji.
Okay. We're all buying like a timeshare. We're all going to put money in like a timeshare and make this island world, the vegan island.
I love it.
The vegan island resort.
I'm there.
Can I ask a question?
Of course.
So what is the number one thing that you would recommend everyone to put on their bucket list? Got you thinking, got the juices going.
Oh, this is good. Go to a sanctuary and see animals. Head to an animal sanctuary. Yeah. And hopefully the money circles back, and most of them do, to some kind of food empowerment project. That's what I would say. A vegan food empowerment project. So yeah, put that on your bucket list.
Oh,
really noted.
Well, we haven't talked yet about the plants in the suburbs or in the burbs.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your show.
Sure.
Oh,
okay.
yes.
Yeah. So I'll just real quick, one thing that happened when I went vegan is my trainer was, we were working out in the morning at 5 a.m., punching, doing some kickboxing and so forth. And I kept sharing with her, and she was also on a similar journey to, through her church to eat more plants. And so next thing you know, we're kind of fun. We would go to visit places and we talk about it. And then we did a couple of lives for Jane Unchained, formerly, now it's UnChainedTV. And we're like, this is kind of fun. I really like our banter. And then we had people kind of say a few things to us. So we started Plant-Based in the Burbs. You can find it on UnChainedTV. We're also building our brand and getting out there more. We're weekly on Facebook and YouTube. So you can go over to YouTube and see it there as well. And yeah, so we're essentially two women who are empty nesters, moms, who are cooking in the kitchen, showing the regular other person in the suburbs, wherever you are, how to get more plants on your plate and swap outs. So we talk a lot about how to swap out, like we just did a show about Italian food even, and we did the Gardine meatballs, funny thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she was cooking up a ziti that she made prior to being vegan and just veganized it with mushrooms and other deliciousness and spices and so forth. So yeah, that's what we do. We're all about, hey, come on in our kitchen, no judgment. Let's just get some more plants on your plate. How to do that. We're
Let
here.
me ask a question. So since you two became veganized, if that's the correct word.
Yeah. What is the word, Paige? What's the,
Is it
I want to
veganized?
know.
I love it.
Is it so? But have you noticed that your weight has been maintained when you cut meat out? Like someone like me that, like, I got the pasta belly, and that's probably hereditary. But I mean, have you noticed since you removed meat that you have maintained a healthy weight?
Absolutely. Yep. I would say for sure. And I think, when we talk about heritage, I've heard a lot of people talk about this, that when you think about hereditary diseases, a lot of it has to do with what's in the kitchen, how and what you're eating. If you're eating the fried chicken, like I was when I was on the farm and transitioned into that at home, and different foods with different cultures. I've heard people who have gone vegan, who have lost weight, who've kept their weight off, and basically have helped their health tremendously when their parents died at a young age of heart attack, or they don't have to deal with diabetes because they've gone plant-based.
Okay. So you're saying there's a healthier choice. And since you went veganized, if that's the correct term, that you're maintaining your weight, someone that's diabetic, that they're maintaining their blood sugar levels, you have more energy, and then you feel more refreshed and good about yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. On every level. It's better for the environment, obviously better for the environment. They don't want to be bred to become food. Animals have a will to live, just like our dogs, our cats, our birds. They don't want to be bred. They don't want to be on this planet just to become food. So that's something we don't think about.
I call it the vegan 10 because I lost 10 pounds and I got 10 years off my life.
Love that.
And then your cholesterol level is maintained also, that's the biggest thing, because I'm a cardiac nurse. And when people come into the hospital, that's the number one thing, is the cholesterol level is high. The blood pressure is high also, and it's, coupled with high cholesterol. So maybe if people may do some mind shifting and maybe change, instead of eating the fried chicken, the meat all the time, maybe start swapping things out. Maybe instead of taking medication, maybe healthier choices with food that may help with your cholesterol, as well as your blood pressure, as well as your blood glucose.
Precisely. Like you can get everything you need from the plants and vegetables and nuts, like everything, because that's what the cows and the chickens and everything that we're eating eat. So, but we're going right to the source by just eating those.
Okay.
And we're not getting it through a massive amount, like at one sitting through.
I get it.
Okay.
Well, I always refer to the resources. Like Dr. Milton Mills is amazing. Definitely jot that name down and look him up. He's got a website.
Say it again.
Dr. Milton Mills. He is powerful. His information. He also talks about how dairy is not designed for humans, and particularly for people of color. He talks about that. He's done a whole campaign on educating people how it's dietary racism to give children in schools milk, dairy milk. That's very important.
Right. That's what I was saying with my grandkids. They had to swap the milk out instead of whole milk.
Got it. Well, so that's one person. And also the film called They're Trying to Kill Us. Powerful film, talking exactly about what you're talking about there. Also, what's happening in the world as far as, in the United States, of what's happening as far as racism with food choices and food deserts and food nutrition deserts as well. They're Trying to Kill Us. What the Health, an incredible film about our healthy choices and diabetes, heart disease, and so forth. That's a great film. The other person I want to recommend is two people. Michael Greger, who is Dr. Michael Greger. He's got nutritionfacts.org. nutritionfacts.org. And also,
I'm so glad Renee's writing this down, even though we have it in the recording.
Yeah. Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, PCRM.org. Very powerful. So I think these are the kind of resources that I recommend. The film with the health, the Game Changers. That's another powerful film.
Yeah.
I mean, it goes into details about why meat can cause erectile dysfunction. Because the arteries and clog the arteries. It's like one of the first indicators for heart disease is if you have erectile dysfunction. So what do we do as a society? We recommend more medication, but the animals have a ton of antibiotics in it that we're getting, that we consume if we're consuming meat, dairy, eggs, fish as well. And then, oh gosh, anyways, yeah, and the cheese and so forth. So yeah, those are some recommendations that I would suggest. And my favorite film, Cowspiracy, of course, that changed my life.
That what is it started called? It all. Cowspiracy.
It's called Cowspiracy, the Sustainability Secret. Yeah.
Well, the one thing for me, once I fully transitioned, like I didn't know what to eat. And I think that's the biggest thing, that when you start transitioning or you're looking into more vegan foods, is what nutrients you need for yourself. So you don't have to supplement with calcium and this and that, which is now I have to supplement because I was getting so much from, I guess, the cheese and the ice cream that I was eating before, where once I went vegan, my teeth went clear, like they were about to fall out. They were gray and clear. And had I not Googled it and found out, I could have lost all my teeth. So now I have to supplement with calcium pills every day. And when I don't do it for a few days, I start seeing the color come out. And when I'm routinely, I have the whitest teeth I've ever had in my life. Like I've always struggled with, a little yellow and, not so white. But when I am on point with it, they are white.
With the calcium pills?
Mm-hmm.
Renee, I wanted to make a mention of something you said earlier. Those folks that are on the junk food vegan diet might have a struggle with their weight. And I'm just going to say that because eating the junk food is not something that you're going to want to do on a daily. So, and processed. I espouse for whole food, plant-based foods, meaning go for the less processed foods. So that would be on a regular. Now, trust me, I go to Plant Power and get myself one of those delicious vegan burgers, or I'll indulge in something that's from Beyond Meat or tofurkey. I love their tofurkey sausages. They're so great.
Mm-hmm.
Trader Joe's. That's a staple in our family. But
and the tempeh.
The tempeh. But for the most part, what I'm mixing and making over here is with lentils. I'm dialing in homemade cheeses, which are not hard to do, with some cashews, like cheese sauce. You got to look at it like it may not look exactly like something else did. And that's where you're going to go for the Miyokos, like we talked about earlier, chow
that we had the other day.
Those are yummies that I definitely incorporate. I'm just saying, for the most part, I stick to less processed and more just straight from the plants. And it's a whole new mindset. We think we can only get protein from meat. We think we can only get the calcium from dairy. We think we can only get B12 from chicken or from beef, but that's not the case. So you will need
protein.
Protein, exactly. You'll need to figure
protein out. Is in the greens.
Yes.
It's in the fruits and vegetables. That's where we get protein from the animals, is the greens.
And eating what the elephants eat. That's a really fun slogan that Crazies and Weirdos, Dominic Thompson, that his team came up with. Check him out on Instagram, DomZ. Oh yeah, you want to be inspired? I mean, there are so many amazing bodybuilders and gorgeous people who are vegan inspirations. Koya Webb in the yoga.
I heard of that one.
Love her. Queen of Green. She's doing great, inspiring work. Check her out on Instagram. Of course, Chef Charity Morgan, one of my favorite people on the planet.
The book.
And then of course UnChainedTV, which I'm a book.
So do you have a moment to talk about that? I know we're over time, but if you both have a few minutes, I know your dog is antsy over there, Paige.
She's okay. She's laying down now. She's cool. Cool with her cast. She's
So I have my One Veg at a Time cooking show on Jane Unchained, which is now Unchained TV. It's transitioned from, it's not, there we go, Unchained TV, to it's now a TV network.
Yep.
And what do you do with that? Like, what's the goal?
Yeah. So, okay. Right now, you can download it on your phone or you can get it through streaming services. So it's 100% free, vegan, plant-based content, climate content, documentaries, mini docs, music videos, cooking shows. So New Day, New Chef, which used to be on Amazon Prime. I think it's still there, but you can grab it and watch it. You can watch a movie called Vegucated, The Invisible Vegan. Those are all free content. So a lot of people want free content. So our goal is to reach those that are looking for free content. It's the #1 Googled word, free, and searched for. So now you can access Unchained TV without having to pay for some kind of a streaming service, right? Like many of us do, pay for multiple streaming services to watch our movies and watch our content. This is free. So if you have a Roku,
is it an app?
It's an app on your phone, free app on your phone, but it's a free streaming service through Roku, your Samsung TV, Amazon Fire Stick, and more. So if you go to, here's where you can get all your info. You go to UnChainedTV.com. You'll have everything you need to know there. You can even stream from that website. So we have multiple ways you can tap into our content, and it's free. And the goal is to get this information out to people because I didn't know before I knew. So I'm one of the news producers. I also have our show on called Plant Based in the Burbs. It's on Unchained TV. And I also continue to book and produce the Lunch Break Live show, which is on Facebook and also on YouTube. So you can head and see those cooking shows there. That's daily, 12:30 every single day.
All right.
PT time.
And Renee, we're going to get you on it.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes. I can't wait. I'm excited.
Yeah.
And do you want to drop your socials real quick before we sign off?
It's so easy. It's so easy to find me. I'm Paige with an I, Paige Parsons, and then Roach with an E, Roache. So Paige Parsons Roach on all social platforms. You can find me LinkedIn. You can connect with me all over. And then Unchained TV is at Unchained_TV. So
Like it.
That's it.
Love it.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Oh, go.
Plant-based in the Burbs too. Plant-based in the Burbs. You can find us on social there too. Plant-based in the Burbs.
Yes.
We are plant-based in the burbs, plant-based in the burbs, boom, 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 plant-based.
Is that the theme song?
Yeah, that's our theme song. And shout out to Sherry Johnson, my partner on the show. We co-produce and we co-host the show on a weekly basis, and we just have a lot of fun. So
how did that come about?
I'm telling you, we literally were out at a restaurant, or I think it might have been a veg fest, and we both said we should do something. And then we started doing it. We just said, let's do it. And then we pitched it to Jane and she said, go for it. And we've been on over a year now on the Unchained TV. And yeah, so more to come, more exciting.
Yeah, nice.
That was exciting.
Ready? With
Yes.
Okay. Thanks to all of you for tuning in to this week's episode with leading lady Paige Parsons Roach. And thank you for sharing your experiences with us today. For more of our content, you can follow us on our social media at heep_ent, HEEP_ENT. And if you have feedback, guest selections, collab pitches, or anything you want to tell us, you can reach out to our team at heepent@gmail.com. And until next time,
Continue to lead, ladies.
Thank you. Peace and plants, y'all. Mwah.
bye.